I've wanted to make a video about Swift's property wrappers for a while, and here it is. So a property wrapper, and where's the definition? It's a generic structure that encapsulates read and write access to the property and adds additional behavior to it. Doesn't feel very clear to me. So I want to go through these property wrappers and explain where they might be used. There's a link in the description for some of my articles about SwiftUI, and I hope with those this makes property wrappers much clearer for you. Let's get started. @Published is at the heart of SwiftUI. So if you have a class and have a property on the class and want other objects to be aware that it's changed, @Published is your property wrapper. So I've been using this where I have a class of view model and have a SwiftUI view, and you want the view to change when one of the properties change in the view model. So that property has to be marked @Published. So I think of @State in a similar way to @Published, but you don't have the requirement that @State lives in a class. It can be in a struct. Therefore, if you have a single view and want to have some state, a color or an integer, then you can use the property wrapper @State, which then lives in the same struct as the view. I use @ObservedObject property wrapper for my view models. Effectively, this means that my view model implements the observable object protocol and means I can have @Published properties within it, and my view can be informed of those changes in order to redraw. If you need to create observed objects within your view, then you'll need to hold the reference to it because your view's a struct, and this is where @StateObject comes in. I think the @Binding property wrapper is great because you can have a single source of truth. Say have a text field with some text in it and you want to bind that to the title of a button. You'd use a binding, so then when either one is updated, it updates the other one. It's a fantastic feature of SwiftUI. @EnvironmentObject is ideally used for properties that are shared data. @Environment is used for things like light and dark mode. The property wrapper @AppStorage reads and writes from user defaults. The property wrapper @FetchRequest allows us to use core data's fetch requests. @GestureState stores the values associated with the gesture that is currently in progress. @Namespace is an animation namespace to match with geometry effects. @NSApplicationDelegateAdaptor creates and registers a class as the AppDelegate for a Mac OS app. @ScaledMetric is used for dynamic type. @ScaledStorage saves and restores data for state restoration. @UIApplicationDelegateAdaptor is used to create and register a class as the AppDelegate. Focused binding is for binding values within the key window. Focused value is also for binding values in the key window, but does not unwrap the bound value. Well, that was certainly a whistle-stop tour of Swift's property wrappers, but I hope it's been of use, and perhaps I'll see you on the next video.